Atenda from sportsrifle.com, and you're listening to Courtside with the Coaches. The 2023-2024 season of the Zimbabwe Women's Super League concluded with the Red Rose Queens successfully defending their championship title. Maningi Youth Academy, Primrose Serima, Platinum Loyals, and Shine made their maiden appearance in the Zimbabwe Women's Super League. Today on the show, I'm joined by two coaches that played an instrumental role in helping their team finish in the top 10 in their maiden Zimbabwe Women's Super League appearance. In their maiden league appearance, they finished on position 9, and they're quite a youthful team full of potential, and I bet you in the next 4 years we could be talking of them being the next Zimbabwe Women's Super League champions. I'm joined by the assistant coach of Maningi Youth Academy, Primrose Serima. In the interview, Primrose talked to me about their maiden appearance in the league. She shares a top 3 players this season, and also shares some of the memorable moments the team had in the Zimbabwe Women's Super League.
Personally, I think I can give ourselves 7 out of 10 because we didn't do well in the first round of the games. Since it was our first time in the Premier Soccer League, we faced so many challenges. At the same time, we lacked the experienced players because most of our players are very young, and getting in that competition, you know how it is. At first we lost so many matches against even big teams, and it was all because of experience. So during the window period, we managed to get two experienced players, that's Rumbi and Bison, to beef up our team, and their inclusion changed everything in a positive way. We started winning the games, even against those teams who had beaten us in the first league. So it was a learning curve for us, and I promise next year we are going to do much better than what we did this year. The top 3 players in the Women's Super League, in the Zimbabwe Women's Super League, are Kudzai Chiparausha from Correctional Queens, then there is Kanashe Ganje from Black Rhinos Queens. She's doing very, very well. Then I can also put another special from our team, from Maningi Youth Soccer Academy. It's a memorable game for me and my team was against the FC Platinum Royals when they visited us here in Harare, and they managed to beat them 3-2. That was a great match, to be honest enough with you, considering the fact that when we went to Vishavane, they managed to beat us 4-0. We didn't even manage to score a single goal in Vishavane, but when they came for the return leg, it was a different story. We managed to score 3 goals and we managed to beat them 3-2. That was the most memorable game, and I know my players will agree with me on that one. Then the worst match, yes, our worst match was against the Primrose Serima. We drew 1-0 with a team that was on the bottom of the log. And when we went there, we had like so many expectations. We were thinking that we were going to win with a big margin, but that didn't happen. And to me, that was our worst match ever. And I think that it taught us that there is nothing like a small team when you're in the Premier Soccer League, that we have to take every game very serious, and we don't have to underrate any team. So that was the lesson that we learned when we played Primrose Serima. But we had a good season and we ended up number 9, which is not bad, but hoping for better next year.
It was the assistant coach of Maningi Youth, Coach Primrose. Next, I was joined by the head coach of Platinum Laurels, Kwinji 15, and this is what she had to say.
Yeah, I think the goal first when we got into the top flight league, the goal really was to maintain the Super League position. Yeah, I don't want to call it avoid relegation or whatsoever, because when we started we just wanted to compete, but to maintain the status in the league. Yeah, that was the main goal. Then secondly, maybe out of 10, I would say I will rate ourselves 8 out of 10. I think for the first time in the top league, we surpassed possibly what any league debutant would do. So yeah, 8 out of 10 is good for me, and there is room for improvement, obviously. Then my top 3 really performing players in the Women's Super League this season. Yeah, it's quite a tough one. I had a lot of players really that stood out for me, but maybe just to name those 3, I've got Thelma Masawi. I think she's from Platinum Royals, plays as a center back. Yeah, a 20-year-old. For me, I think she did very well. That is a position that mostly is dominated by matured players, but I think for our team, she did very well in marshalling that defense. Then secondly, Christopher Katona, the Rhinos winger. For me, she was one of those players behind really Rhinos wins and whatsoever. The play really evolved around here. So yeah, she did stand out for me. Then finally, not sure about her first name, but the Maningi goalkeeper, a young goalkeeper, but oh my god, she's a marvel to watch. Very brave in between the posts. At some point, it was her versus other teams. So for me, looking at her age and what she brought in between those posts was really amazing. Then I would say my most memorable match really would be our win away to Rhinos with one commander there. Yeah, it's always very difficult really to go out there and outplay Black Rhinos, one of the toppest teams in the country, with top players really that have national team experience and all the stuff. But I want to give credit really to the girls really for playing with our tactical shape. As we prepared for that game, the tactical shape that we used, it came out as it was on match day, and you could see that at some point, especially in the second half, Black Rhinos was all over us, but the tactical defensive discipline that the players showed was really amazing. So yeah, there's still a lot of other matches really, but yeah, I think that one stood out for me. Then our worst one for me was our second match versus Chapungu at Manyame Air Base there. That was the second match of the season. We had lost the first match against Rentals in the Shavane, and we lost 2-1, but I was happy with the performance that the girls showcased. But the second match was a totally different match where we were just out of sorts. We really didn't do anything, and we're just lucky to even escape with a 2-0 loss, but we were just terrible offensively and defensively. So yeah, I would say that was the worst match. We've lost matches, but this one for me was the worst because there's nothing to write home about. We didn't really play anything well.
So that was Coach Kwinji and Coach Primrose from Maningi Youth and Platinum. I had the privilege of watching Maningi play this season, and I remember I watched their first game of the league against Yadah. I'll share the link to the interview I had with the head coach, and I'll also put the link of the Platinum Moyo versus Black Rhinos game. It was quite an amazing game. Thank you for joining me on the Courtside with the Coaches. I look forward to hosting you again in my next podcast, which is soon. We want to try and make this consistent, and obviously bring to you coaches, athletes, officials, and so don't forget to check out our various social media channels, including obviously our Facebook page and our X handle, and also our YouTube channel. Please don't forget to follow, to share, to like, and subscribe. With that, we call it a podcast. It has been nice having you around. Your views and comments and suggestions are very much welcome. I would love to hear from you what you think about the podcast, what we should improve, who we should interview, etc. etc. Once again, thank you for listening to Courtside with the Coach.